Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it has been so long since I have done a sit down video. Nonetheless, if you are new here and you have no idea who I am, my name is Chanel. I run a blog called CHANELFILES.com, and over here on this small but growing corner of the YouTube world, we talk about God, fashion, luxury fashion. We do some vlogging. We love to work out. We love to eat healthy. We love to take care of our skin. And last but certainly not least, we love to live the blessed life. So if any of those things are of interest to you, then I would love and appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button down below. And sis, while you are there, hit the bell notification so you are notified when I upload a new video. As you guys can see from the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about whether or not I personally think social media is ruining or kind of contributing to the watering down of luxury goods. I feel like when it comes to these topics, you guys enjoy these very candid and casual conversations of me just sharing my opinions, my thoughts about luxury fashion, and we've had many of these conversations before and you guys seem to really enjoy these. So I thought I would come on here and just give you guys more of my thoughts and my opinions as to whether or not social media is ruining luxury fashion or kind of just contributing to the watering down of luxury fashion. So per usual, I have my notes here. I took quite a bit of notes because I really wanted to stay on track, stay on topic. You guys know when I have these very candid and casual conversations, especially when it comes to luxury fashion, I can go off on a little bit of a tangent. I try not to be too aggressive with it, but I do want to make sure that I stay on track and stay on topic. A, so this video is not super long, and B, so I just make sure I give you guys my points. So I have my notes here, and I think I'm just going to kind of structure this almost as if I were writing an essay. I'm just gonna like give you guys my thesis and then give you guys my reasonings that are going to support my thesis. So my opinion is this, and it's a little bit of like a two-way opinion, but I would not say I think that social media is completely ruining luxury fashion, and I'll kind of give my opinions on that portion of it a little bit later on. But I do think that social media is like high-key contributing to the overall just watering down of luxury fashion. Now, I've said this in a previous video, but it goes without saying, I work in fashion. I create content, obviously not just about fashion, but mainly about fashion. And I am a consumer. I see a lot more of fashion things on a daily basis than the average person does. So that is just something to keep in mind. That is my position when I am talking about the things that I'm going to talk about. So first point is, put that note down. So my first point is this. When you talk about one particular category of a thing and everybody is buying it, by default, it's going to oversaturate and overexpose the market to such things. And I think that is just where we are right now. We live in an era, we live in a time where everything is on social media, everything is on Instagram, everything is on TikTok. And we live in a day and age where everybody wants to share what they're buying, share what they're wearing, sharing what the things are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just say that there's nothing wrong with that. I've said that before. I am a consumer. I enjoy the things. We all know that. But we live in an age where doing that is like the thing to do, if that makes sense. It's all about doing unboxings. It's all about showing off the latest pair of shoes, showing off the bag you just bought, showing off, you know, your 5 VCA bracelets that you just bought because you just feel like you should have 5 of them, yet you don't know anything about the brand. Nonetheless, the first point is, when something is overly purchased, overly consumed, it is by default going to oversaturate the market. It is going to overexpose that item because everybody is buying it, therefore everybody is talking about it. We live obviously in a very heavily dominated social media age. When you're talking about pop culture, when you're talking about the things that generally speaking, everybody to some degree knows about, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, those are the dominating forces in the day and age that we live. It's sad to say, but it is the reality. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I feel like we live in an age now more than ever where everybody is trying to keep up. Everybody is trying to be themselves, but also be and look like somebody else so that they can be included in the conversation of that person, if that makes sense. Like, I'm me, but I also kind of want to look like the next person. So when you look at that person, you also see I have the same vibe, I have the same style, I have the same bag, I have the same cars, I have the same shoes, because that's what's popular. That's the thing. That's what everybody's talking about. So naturally, I have to buy and wear and talk about what everybody else is talking about because that's what's popular. And unfortunately, that kind of narrative or that decision is why I believe we're seeing the same things on Instagram. We're seeing the same things on YouTube. We're seeing everybody wearing the same shoes, wearing the same bracelets, drinking the same matchas, which, girl, I could have a whole conversation about matcha and why it is in 2022, people are just now finding out about matcha. But I'm not going to do that because that's not why you're here. But simply said though, we live in an age where everybody is talking about the same thing. Everybody is posting the same thing. Everybody is sharing the same thing. Therefore, these things are now being overexposed. And really the only channel that these things are being exposed through is social media. And I guess I should go ahead and mention this point now. I was going to talk about it later, but it kind of just fits in now. Here's the thing about social media. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, these platforms are not physical, tangible things, right? These are platforms that we use in a digital space. It is the users, it is us that utilize these platforms, that create content on these platforms, and that give these platforms the power that they have. If it was not for us utilizing these platforms, creating content, sharing things, there would be no TikTok. There would be no Instagram. There would be no YouTube, right? And that kind of points back to what I said in my thesis statement, where I can't fully blame Instagram or I can't fully blame social media generally on the ruining of luxury fashion, because the platform does not have the power to do that. It is us, it is the users that have the power to do that, or to really water luxury fashion down, which I definitely think it is. So I guess I want to make that point very clear, because again, it's a platform, it's a digital space, it's not a physical, tangible thing. Thus, it does not have the power to do anything other than what we really allow it to do. And it also goes without saying that obviously, you know, the people in Silicon Valley at Facebook, at Instagram, at TikTok are creating algorithms that are, you know, generating certain things, but that again is based off of our activity. That is based off of what we feed into the systems. So I just say all of that to say this. Do I think that Instagram is ruining luxury fashion? No. Do I think that YouTube is ruining luxury fashion? No. Do I think TikTok is ruining luxury fashion? No. However, do I think that we, the users, the producers, and consumers of these luxury things are over purchasing and over consuming, and thus overexposing these things on these platforms? Yes. I absolutely do believe that we are. And therefore, I do believe, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't say it's ruining luxury fashion, but it is absolutely, first of all, sucking all of the life that luxury fashion gave me. I mean, I don't know about you, sis, but it's definitely sucking all of the life that it gave me. And it's really just, in my opinion, watering down the enjoyment of luxury fashion, the enjoyment of being able to go and buy a bag that you have had your eye on for 5 years, and 5 years ago you couldn't afford it, and you saved up, you denied yourself buying any other item, any other pair of shoes, any other luxury bag, because you were focused on getting this one bag, and you went and got your bag, whatever bag that may be, whether it's a Chanel bag, a Dior bag, you know, I don't know, an Hermes bag, whatever bag it was you saved up for and you knew that you wanted and you purchased. Do I think that seeing these things overly consumed, overly saturating the market on these platforms is ruining the enjoyment of luxury fashion? I 100% think so. All right, you guys, so moving on to my second point, and I actually think this might be the most important point that I'm going to talk about, and that is accessibility to luxury items in this day and age. I think a huge factor to the overconsumption of luxury items and just to the oversaturation of luxury items these days is simply due to the accessibility that we have to these things. Nowadays, you don't have to go directly to Chanel to buy a Chanel bag. You don't have to go directly to Dior to buy a Dior bag. You don't have to go directly to Hermes to buy an Hermes bag. We live in the day and age of the secondhand market. We live in a day and age of pre-loved items. And because we live in a day and age where you can go to Fashion File, you can go to The Real, you can reach out to someone at Thread Styling, you can have a personal shopper try to find something for you. You're going to see a lot of the same items, a lot of the same bags, the same shoes being purchased, being shown, being worn, because again, we have these doors now open to us that if the secondhand market wasn't a thing, which I mean, God forbid that ever is the case, I know that wouldn't be, but if you really think about it, if you were to completely strip away the secondhand luxury market and you only could purchase items from the retail space, we wouldn't see half of the luxury items that we do, or we would not see half of it as heavily consumed as we do. And so by default, because there is so much access to these luxury items, and because these luxury items are so popular, and I say that word loosely because I think things are simply just popular because people are followers. Like, if we're just being real, I feel like if people actually sat and thought about a purchase and was like, okay, do I actually really like these shoes because I like these shoes? Or do I like these shoes because everybody is wearing them and everybody is talking about them and it's the it girl shoe, so I'm just gonna buy it? But because there is so much access to these luxury items these days, I feel like it's watering down, so to speak, the pot of brands and fashion houses and designers that at one point, like I said earlier, we knew we wanted this bag and we researched and we did our due diligence on this bag, on this brand, on these shoes, on this particular fashion house. And we knew that when the time came for us to buy the bag or to buy whatever item it is that we wanted to get, it was a moment for us. But I feel like we live in a day and age where it's just like, I want to buy it because everybody's wearing it. I want to be a girl. I want to be the it girl that has the Birkin, the 25, the Kelly and Epsom leather, palladium hardware. I want to be the girl with 4 VCA bracelets because all the girls are wearing VCA bracelets, don't even know how to pronounce it, don't even know about the brand, the history of the company. That is literally what it's giving me. And sadly, it really, in my opinion, is just sucking the life out of the enjoyment of these items. Something that at one point, even 4 or 5 years ago, something that was relatively exclusive, something that was, if you didn't know VCA, all you just knew it was a little flower bracelet or a little flower necklace. You know what I'm saying? Just to the naked eye. But it's like nowadays, oh, girl, you got a VCA? Okay. You know what I'm saying? It just sucks the fun out of what the brand was and what the brand stands for. And that, to be honest, is a part of the reason why we are seeing these continuing price increases. They are trying to downsize the amount of access that we consumers have to their products because their products are for everybody these days. And I do not say that in a flattering way. Just like people say, oh, she for the streets, oh, he's for the streets, they're for everybody. Girl, Chanel is for everybody. VCA is for everybody. Hermes is for everybody. And that is one reason, one of many reasons, but one reason that I believe these luxury brands are continuing to increase their prices, are saying in some way or another, we're gonna have you buy $8,000 worth of knickknacks and paddywhacks around our store before we even give you access to a random bag, because we wanna make sure that you're really about that life. Just like Chanel, they now have it to where I think you can only buy, I wanna say maybe 2 or 3 bags per, I don't know, quarter. I don't even know because I'm not walking into Chanel buying bags like that. But they now have a very Hermes-like rule. And one of the reasons I firmly believe that they are now incorporating that is because A, they think they're that girl, and B, they are trying to downsize and really narrow in the amount of access that people have to their things, because they know that their bags are for the streets, if we're just being honest. So I say all of that to say, in my very long second point / rant, accessibility plays a huge factor in why we are seeing a lot of the same brands, the same shoes, the same bags, the same jewelry pieces that a couple of years ago people were not checking for because people did not know to check for it. Accessibility is playing a huge factor. And again, I'm not complaining about it, because again, I would be pointing myself out of the crowd, you know, if we're being honest. But the access that we do have to all of these brands, specifically on the secondhand market, is a huge factor and a big component as to why I believe that social media is playing a part in the watering down and borderline ruining of luxury fashion. And I just want to throw this in. This is like a little bonus segment. This is not like an actual point, but I just want to throw this in because I'm petty sometimes, and I'm just like that. What can I say? But I was thinking the other day, right? So you know how brands like Hermes, they oftentimes, not always, because you would be surprised by how many people have purchased bags, Kellys, Birkins, without playing the game of buying $70,000 worth of like twillies and jewelry before getting a bag. However, generally speaking, when you are talking about Hermes, they want you to go in and buy and have a buying history with them, right? But I was thinking, instead of said loosely, requiring the girls to have purchased, you know, $5,000 worth of things before debating whether or not they are worth a Kelly or a Birkin, this is what they should do. And I know that in real life, they're not going to do this because this can be like a form of discrimination, and it kind of is. But, you know, just humor me for a minute, right? I feel like if someone comes up to the store, before you are allowed access into the store, they ask you what it is you want. And if you cannot properly pronounce the item that you want, if your vocabulary does not match the price tag of the item that you are buying or desire to buy, access denied. I cannot tell you, and again, this is just me being petty, but you know what? I'm gonna say what I gotta say, okay? But the amount of times that I have paused a video after watching someone do a haul of thousands of dollars worth of luxury items, and you are unable to properly pronounce the brand, the designer, or the actual item that you're buying, that you just spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but you're saying it incorrectly, I just be like, it's the foolery for me. And let me just say this, right? By no means am I saying that I know how to pronounce every brand, every designer, every fashion house. I would be lying to you. I would be lying to myself. And most importantly, I would be lying in the presence of God if I said to you, I know how to pronounce every brand, everything, because that would be a lie. But one thing I'm going to do, because I value the credibility that I have and what it is that I share with you guys, and because I work in fashion and because I create fashion content, please believe me. If I don't know how to properly pronounce something, or I even have an inkling that I don't know how to pronounce something, but I want to speak on this brand or on this designer or on this particular item, baby, you best believe I'm gonna go to Google and try to figure out how to pronounce this. I am going to look up on YouTube if somebody else has pronounced this brand or this item, because just imagine me trying to tell you I paid $5,000, $8,000 for something, and I'm pronouncing it wrong. And I'm saying it with my chest, but I'm saying it wrong. It'd be the foolery for me. So my point is, and again, I know this is not reality. Brands are not going to do this because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. But just imagine that instead of going into a store and buying thousands of dollars worth of nonsense that you don't even want to potentially be considered for a bag that you honestly don't even want in that color or hardware, but because that's literally what they're offering you, you're going to buy it. Imagine instead of going through that whole process, you just stood at the door, and if you could not pronounce said item that you want to buy, access denied. Do you know how many less Birkin bags we would see? Do you know how many less shoes and bracelets and jewelry pieces we would see? That's just food for thought. All right, you guys, my last point is this, and I'm definitely going to try to wrap this up because we've been on here for too long now. My last point is this, right? Social media and all of these platforms are simply what you make it. All of these platforms simply reflect who you follow. I know for me personally, I have been making it a point, not that I never followed accounts other than fashion, because obviously I enjoy things outside of fashion. I work out, I love to cook, I love to eat, I love God. So I have always followed accounts outside of fashion. However, I know personally, I have been making it more of a point to follow accounts that are food accounts, you know, workout accounts, faith-based or godly accounts. That way, my timeline and what I see and what I have control over, because at the end of the day, we do have, to some level of degree, we have control over what we see on these platforms. I know personally that I have been making it a point to follow accounts that are not just fashion accounts, but again, are food accounts, that are godly or faith-based accounts, that are, you know, lifestyle and wellness and workout accounts, and just, you know, artsy and cool accounts, because these are all things that I enjoy. And I want to make sure that as much as I can control, because again, with social media and with these algorithms and what they are doing at their little teeny tiny desks over in Silicon Valley, you know, there are certain things that we can control. And to some degree, we can control who we follow. And I think that if we are mindful about who we follow, that is obviously to some degree going to regulate and dictate what we see on these platforms, what we see on YouTube, what we see on TikTok, what we see on Instagram, and how much of it we see. So if you are like me and you are tired of seeing certain things, or to be honest, certain people, you know, just be sure to follow other accounts that you enjoy and really teach the algorithm, because that is what is happening. Teach the algorithm or show the algorithm that I'm not just into seeing IG baddies. You know, I enjoy other forms of content, and these are the things on social media, on these platforms that we can control, which thus I feel like really does aid to our, you know, mental well-being, as dramatic as that may sound, but it is to some degree the truth. It really does aid to how much of this content or this particular content that we may see or not see. So be sure to be mindful about who you're following and how much you engage in said content, because that does have a direct reflection and correlation to the overexposure of these particular forms of content, or all of these Birkin bags that are just popping up as if they're not $8,000 a pop. All right, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It was definitely a lot longer than I intended it to be, but this is something that I really am obviously passionate about talking about, because I think that this is a conversation that unfortunately is not had enough on social media or on these platforms. And I enjoy the fact that we enjoy these conversations. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like this video. We are a small but growing channel on the YouTube space, and it really does help with the algorithm and let the algorithm know that you guys like this video, and thus it shares this video to other people who may not know about me. So please be sure to like this video, turn on your post notifications if they are not already, and of course subscribe if you are not already subscribed to the channel. Follow me over on Instagram at CHANELFILES. Your girl is out here trying to be consistent and create content, and you guys seem to be enjoying it. So be sure to follow me over on the gram. Also, check out my blog, CHANELFILES.com. I have not forgotten about the newsletter. You guys, I feel like time is just going by so quickly, and your girl, I have just not had the time to sit and get my newsletter together. But please believe, if it is the last thing that I do, I will be coming out with my newsletter. I just want to let you guys know I have not forgotten about that. Nonetheless, with all of that being said, stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. I know it looks like the world is on fire, and to some degree it is, but I promise you, sis, I love you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Babes, he died for you. So amidst everything going on, stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.